A pair of proper adjustable dumbbells can run you well over $100 before you've lifted a single rep. And most of that price tag has nothing to do with the metal inside them. It's shipping. Dumbbells are dense, heavy, and awkward to box. And every kilogram you buy is a kilogram someone has to haul across the country on a truck. So what if you could skip that entire cost structure and pour your own weights in your own garage using a mold you build once and reuse forever? That's exactly what we're testing today, and the results genuinely surprised me, in both good ways and one very bad way. Here's the problem with home gym equipment right now. Cast iron and steel plates track roughly $2 to $3 per kilogram once you add shipping. And that number barely moves whether you buy from a big box store or a specialty fitness brand, because the raw material and freight costs are basically the same no matter whose logo is stamped on the side. Rubber-coated versions cost even more, and resale doesn't help much either, since used plates hold their value stubbornly well. If you're trying to build a home gym on a tight budget, the weights themselves are usually the single most expensive part of the whole setup, more than the bench, more than the bar. The overlooked fix isn't some rare material, it's concrete, which has been used to make improvised weights for over a century by strongmen and garage lifters who couldn't afford factory iron. The twist that actually makes it worth doing today is the mold. In the past, home-poured concrete weights meant either building a wooden form you'd have to destroy to get the weight out, or buying a single-use plastic shell for every plate you wanted to cast. Both approaches burn money or time on every single pour. A 3D printed mold changes that math completely, because a well-designed mold can be reused dozens of times, which means the cost of the mold itself gets divided across every weight you ever pour in it. The science of why this works, and why it sometimes doesn't, comes down to two things: compressive strength and reinforcement. Plain concrete is genuinely strong under compression, meaning it resists being crushed, which is exactly the kind of load a dumbbell experiences when you're gripping and lifting it. But concrete is weak under tension and impact, meaning it resists being pulled apart or struck far less well. That's the same reason bridges and building slabs are never poured as plain concrete. They're reinforced with steel bars or mesh embedded inside, which absorb the tension loads that the concrete alone can't handle. A dumbbell that gets dropped, even accidentally, is absorbing a tension and shock load, not a compression load, which is exactly the scenario plain concrete is worst at surviving. You don't see DIY concrete weights marketed by fitness brands for the obvious reason that there's no product to sell once someone knows they can pour their own. No subscription, no proprietary mold, no repeat purchase. But you do see the same underlying idea used seriously in other places. Strongman competitions still use concrete-filled Atlas stones and loading implements because the material is cheap, available anywhere, and easy to shape into odd functional loads. Precast concrete counterweights are standard in elevators and construction cranes for the same reason. Mass at low cost matters more than polish in those applications. So here's how you actually build it. Start by designing or downloading a two-piece mold shaped like the weight plate you want, sized a little larger than your target weight to account for the density of concrete versus iron. Print it in a rigid filament like PETG so it holds its shape through multiple pours, and coat the inside with a thin layer of cooking oil or a proper mold release before every single pour. Skip this step and you will not get the piece back out in one clean unit. Mix a standard mortar or wall concrete, nothing exotic, and pour the first layer into the bottom of the mold. Before it sets, lay in a bent grid of scrap rebar, welded wire mesh, or even just twisted nails and wire if that's what you have lying around. The point isn't the specific metal, it's giving the concrete something tensile to lean on. Fill the rest of the mold, tap it firmly on the table to knock out trapped air pockets, and then leave it alone. This is the step people rush, and it's the one that decides whether your weight survives its first drop. Concrete needs roughly a week to 10 days of curing before it approaches its working strength, and pulling a piece early is asking for a crack you won't see until it's under load. Once it's cured, ease it out with gentle, even pressure rather than sudden force, oil the mold again, and go straight into the next pour. Now for the limitation, because this is where the honesty matters more than the excitement. Reinforcement is not optional, and neither is size. In testing, a mid-size plate with a proper embedded metal grid held up through repeated drops from working height, with only minor surface chipping. A larger plate poured without enough internal reinforcement, filled out with loose rocks instead of a continuous metal skeleton to stretch the concrete further, shattered completely on its very first drop. That's not a fluke. It's exactly what the tension versus compression science predicts. Skimp on the internal structure to save a little material, and you've built something that looks like a weight but fails like a dropped plate of dry concrete. If you're pouring anything above a light warm-up weight, budget for real rebar or mesh, not filler, and treat the first few uses as a supervised test rather than a normal training session. None of this means concrete weights are a gimmick. It means they're a genuine trade, the same one behind almost every good DIY project. You're trading some of the convenience and consistency of a factory product for a dramatically lower cost and the ability to make exactly the weight you need in exactly the increment you need it, from a mold that will keep paying for itself with every pour after the first. The moment you understand where concrete is strong and where it needs help, you stop seeing it as a cheap substitute and start seeing it for what it actually is. One of the oldest, most underrated materials available to anyone with a bag of mortar mix and a little patience. That's the real shift here. Not that concrete can save you money, but that knowing why a material behaves the way it does is what turns a risky shortcut into a reliable one. This is Hidden Fix Lab, and that difference is worth more than the money you save.